Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. I am Jenny Cline, and today is August 8th of 2012. This is Texan TV News from the campus of Tarleton State University. In today's headlines, Attorney General to decide on Tarleton Open Records requests. Die-hard Rangers fans loyal despite losses. Waco leaders okay tax funds for new Baylor Stadium. Now, today's top story. The A&M University system is seeking a decision from the Office of the Attorney General of Texas about an open records request to Tarleton State University from the Texan TV News after workers began installing new surveillance cameras on the Tarleton campus. So far, over 3 dozen cameras have been spotted throughout the Tarleton campus. The university system is citing concerns that the surveillance cameras deter and detect terrorist threats and criminal activity that threaten public and private property, as well as the safety and security of students, faculty, staff, and others. Legal assistant for the Texas A&M University system, Kenesha Brashear, emailed the university system's intentions to Amanda Crawford of the Texas Attorney General's Open Records Department. The university system is asking the Texas Attorney General for permission to withhold information about the locations, number, and the viewer of surveillance cameras on the Tarleton campus. Texan TV News contacted the Freedom of Information Foundation hotline and left a voicemail message for attorney Laura Prather for advising on legal options for this open records issue. Stay tuned for updates and legal decisions regarding the release of these records and locations of these security cameras. The saying "you learn who your true friends are" is becoming increasingly relevant for the Texas Rangers. Last week, the team managed to lose 5 out of the 6 games played from the 24th to the 31st, and the seats in the Arlington ballpark are a little easier to buy. With these losses, fans are declaring their loss of interest in the team that has gone to the World Series 2 years in a row. Fans that have been supporting the Rangers before the World Series of 2010 are calling the fans thinning out bandwagoners, which is a fan after a sports team only after they're winning and in the spotlight.
I've been a fan of the Rangers probably since I was able to walk. Me and my dad used to sit on the couch together when I was real little and watch Pudge Rodriguez and Rafael Palmeiro and all the greats of the Rangers. They haven't done real well the past 2 weeks. Josh Hamilton hasn't had a home run in 12 games, and he's been stinking it up pretty bad. We just got Ryan Dempster, and over the past 2 weeks he's thrown twice and done horribly. Who else was there? Hugh Darvish is still giving up 6 or 7 runs a game, which is killing us. But all in all, we're doing real well, and I think we're going to win the World Series. And hopefully Cruz can catch a fly ball to end the game.
The Texas Rangers have been improving this week with only 2 losses since August 1st, raising them to winning 50% of their games over the last 2 weeks. Texas is currently holding a 59% of total games won, and they are first in the West League by 5.5 games ahead of the Oakland Astros, 6 games ahead of the LA Angels, and 14.5 games ahead of the Seattle Mariners. Loyal fans are still hoping for the team to return to the World Series for the 3rd year in a row. Hopefully, in Texas, the 3rd time is a charm. With temperatures reaching scorching highs, it's crucial that proper vehicle maintenance is taken to ensure that you or your vehicle are not left stranded on the side of a dry and hot Texas blacktop. With just a few simple items that anyone can check in a few minutes, you can be sure that your vehicle will not let you down during the dog days of summer. With the rush and stress that comes with the start of a new semester of college, these items are often left unnoticed until it's too late. So here's Texan TV's own reporter Matt Lennox with some tips to keep you on the road.
Hey, Steve Bill, it's Matt. I'm out here at Quick Car. I'm going to give you some quick tips on how to keep your car cool in the summer.
You need to make sure that your coolant right here is full and operating at its normal coolant range. Your air filter needs to be clean, and make sure enough air gets through the engine to make sure it cools good enough. You have no debris on your radiator grill right here because you don't want it to get hot. You need air going straight to the radiator.
The basic tips that Davin showed today and a little bit of common knowledge, you can ensure that your car will get the heat.
Now for the latest in state, national, and international news from the Associated Press. Waco leaders have cleared the way to help finance Baylor's planned $250 million on-campus football stadium. The Waco City Council voted Tuesday night to award $35 million in special tax funds for the project. Baylor Regents last month approved building the 45,000-seat stadium along the Brazos River contingent on the city adding public funds. The vote to use tax increment financing zone funds was considered a formality. Baylor officials, in a statement following Tuesday night's vote, said the school is prepared to begin construction. Baylor hopes to have the new stadium ready for the 2014 football season. The venue would replace Floyd Casey Stadium, which was built in 1950 and has maintenance issues. New York Roman Catholic Cardinal Timothy Dolan is suing the Obama administration, but he's inviting President Barack Obama to dinner anyway. Dolan has asked both Obama and presumptive Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney to attend the annual Alfred E. Smith Memorial Foundation charity dinner on October 18th, a spokesman for the Archdiocese of New York said Tuesday. Romney has accepted. The Obama campaign hasn't said publicly whether the president will attend, but Dolan's spokesman, Joseph Zwilling, said Obama has accepted too. The Archdiocese of New York is among more than 40 Catholic organizations, charities, and schools that are suing over Obama's mandate that employers provide health insurance that covers birth control. Evangelical, Jewish, and other religious leaders have joined U.S. bishops in pressing for a broader religious exemption, including for faith-affiliated hospitals, colleges, and social service groups. As the head of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, Dolan has said the White House policy is strangling the church. Obama has offered an accommodation, but Catholic leaders and others have said the changes don't go far enough. The Smith Dinner, in its 67th year, is a white tie event at the Waldorf Astoria that is customarily attended by presidents and candidates in an election year. Among the speakers have been John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, and George W. Bush. In 2008, Obama and Republican presidential nominee John McCain attended. The speeches are mostly self-deprecating and lighthearted, and the donations go to needy children. Despite his differences with Obama, Dolan held to the tradition of inviting the president because this is not a partisan event, as Zwilling said. It is an evening to put politics aside and come together in a spirit of civility. Somali children may soon have more government protection from abuse. Children in Somalia have long suffered from poverty and war. Very few are lucky enough to go to school. Somali boy Isak Abdi works 15-hour days with a Somali woman who sells their narcotic leaf khat. Abdi tends to the kiosk and delivers the stimulant to customers. At day's end, the homeless boy receives a handful of chewed sticks that he rebundles and sells to Mogadishu's poor, earning less than $1. Last week, Somali leaders approved a provisional constitution that greatly expands the rights afforded to children. It bars child labor and protects children from neglect and abuse. It outlaws the use of child soldiers and bans child marriage. Despite good intentions, most of the new rights will remain distant dreams for Somali children like 10-year-old Abdi. Today in sports, it's been a whirlwind week at the London Games for Gabby Douglas. The American gymnast burst onto the scene with gold medals in the team competition and the all-around, saw her face on a cereal box, and dealt with crushing media demands that come with stardom. It's a lot to take in for a 16-year-old. Douglas says she wore down mentally as the competition progressed, culminating with a fall on the balance beam on Tuesday. We're 16-year-olds and we have a lot of pressure on our shoulders, so that's kind of a lot to deal with, she says. It's not about winning or losing, it's just about putting your all into it. Now that the competition is over, Douglas is looking forward to time off. I just want to visit my dogs and go to the beach, she says. Today's weather is partly cloudy with a high of 109 degrees. Humidity is at 59% with a 20% chance of precipitation. Winds are 0.8 miles per hour coming from the east-southeast. Today's broadcast was produced by Lucy Pound, Travion Davis, Matt Lennox, and Kylie Woodman, with Matthew Mills as engineer. Lennox is also an employee of the Quick Car in Aledo featured in today's broadcast. You can follow us on ustream.tv/user/Texan News Service. Don't forget to tell your friends about us and become a fan of Texan TV News on Facebook. I'm Jenny Cline.